Hi guys, today I'm looking at a new speed loader from T238. So we've got the big Vanguard here in a comparison. It's a little dusty at the minute, it's not been out for a little while. So one of the things I've noticed regards this one, I do like the screen, the software. Do I think it's as intuitive as the Vanguard one? No. So we're having a little look. So obviously you can set, so I just let it focus. Obviously you can set your the BBs. Now the up button feels really good, but the down button just feels really like hard to press. So maybe that's something they can work on. You do get some of these little adapters. So you get different adapters for the top of the speed loader. So one thing I have noticed is on the Vanguard, I think you have a little O-ring at the top of the brass section to stop the BBs from falling out if you do tip it upside down. Obviously you don't on this one. It is a little plastic section. I do like this trap design so that any BBs that fall can go back in. But one thing I don't like is this little circular bit here. Now for some reason, I don't know why they've put this on, because like I says, this part here sort of closes into it. And it doesn't look too bad when it's closed, but when it is open and BBs are coming from here and falling back into there, because that's a perfect circular hole, the BB is just sitting there and getting stuck, so you've got to like flick it out. So it is smooth when loading a mag. So we've got ARP9 magazine here, so we're just going to have a little quick. So there is a little bit of a pause, like to say it's going to start to load, which that is a nice little touch. So you can press it on. So now we've got a loaded mag, and like you can see, it comes up like that. So I'm just going to try and replicate. So if you take this off, try to shift it over, you always get that one BB that's stuck there, which is annoying. And then the ones that are in this section here are sort of like are stuck in there. So you've got to flick that one out. And then when you do sort of, if you are putting it in a bag or anything like that, if you do tip it up, obviously it's hard to do without tipping BBs everywhere, but 3 or 4 BBs that are in that tube there that are not retained just end up falling out in your bag. So the other thing being is there is no unloader on it. Like on the Vanguard, you've got the red unloader there, but on this you don't. Overall, I think for a clear design, I'm not entirely sure why they've gone for a clear design. Obviously, you can see how many BBs are in here. Obviously, there's like 1,800 BBs. So it is good how many BBs you can sort of fix in there. And you do have a little counter on the front, the battery. So I'll just tip this up now so you can see. So the battery part, it is a screwed in battery cover with Dean's connectors already on there. The only problem again with that is you can disconnect and like stop it. So it's sort of always like plugged in. You do get the battery with it, so that's good. So obviously there's a difference in price. I think these are about, I think about less than 160 mark. Obviously it is a lot for a speed loader, but then obviously the Vanguard is sort of the king of speed loaders. Obviously that's like a £300 speed loader, and this is like half the price. The plastic construction does feel really solid, to be fair. It is unusual how it's clear. Like I says, I'm not entirely sure why they've gone with a clear plastic and not a black plastic. I mean, it was going to give it a nicer look. I think this needs some work on it, just to like the up and down. I mean, it will. It says autofocus. Sorry, guys. So it will. It just doesn't feel as tactile and clicky as opposed to that. coming on the down button. But I think maybe with a period of use, it might sort of like bed in a bit more. You have got, just flicking through some of the menus, you can change the brightness. You can record how many BBs. It auto shuts off after half an hour. There is some, like it says, other menus that I've not managed to go through yet. So you can say, it says like auto shut down. I do like this actual display screen. I think that works quite well. Obviously, it only takes the lightest of taps to turn it back on. So I think that if you do turn it off, then put it in your bag, I think the lightest of touches is going to just basically switch it back on again. But you do have the voltage indicator in the corner, little things like that. But like I said, I just wish that would retain the BBs a bit better. And like I said, I wish that this would like slide back instead of lift up, and just get rid of that. You know, it just holds a BB in it, and it doesn't really. Like I said, that's conical to sort of like lock into place, but it's sort of like it kind of doesn't. It just, I mean, it is sticking a little bit. Bearing in mind this is brand new, but I think it would have been better if it was like a slide version or something like that. But yeah, overall, like I says, 100 to 150 pounds. I'm not sure on the actual price yet properly, because this is like an early look. So yeah, tell me what you think, guys. Cheers, bye.